I don't know what a planet looks like because I've never seen one.
Are you taking the piss?
So, flat earthers have got a lot of weird ideas, but CC has nailed the most common one. Now, in his mind, the whole system collapses around one simple concept. He thinks scientists had to come up with something to explain the atmosphere.
Somehow or another, all this oxygen, all this air is being held in by
gravity! Have you ever heard of gravity?
So they have to come up with something. Gravity. Okay? That's what they have to come up with. They come up with this imaginary thing that nobody knows anything about.
An imaginary thing that nobody knows anything about. Right. And here I thought it was just a fundamental force that prevents the planet from exploding into a vacuum.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County.
I know, but it's not a CC video unless we let him greet us all.
It's 3325. Good old number magic 33.
Oh no, not 33! The number 33 is widely considered a key master number in numerology, and it's central to loads of different conspiracy theories. But like those loads of different conspiracy theories, it means absolutely nothing. It's just a number, Chris.
But who knows? Doesn't matter. They're just going to do it. Do you remember ever in a time that things were, maybe you weren't paying attention. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you definitely weren't paying attention, Chris.
But I don't remember ever in my lifetime of anything ever happening at such an erratic speed. You know what I'm saying?
Not really, no, because you haven't even told us what exactly we're going to be talking about today. Now, I've assumed that it was gravity, but, well, it could go anyway, couldn't it?
It's like things will be dead for months and then bam, daily, every day. And it seems to be around the same time that school starts. I don't know. Could be a coincidence. Who knows? But I don't really believe in coincidences.
Well, I'm genuinely shocked and confused in equal measure. Chris, what the hell are you waffling on about?
You're put into this world given a choice. No choices, actually. No choices at all.
I'm going to have to think about that one for a second. You're put into this world with choices, but given no choices at all.
This is what Earth looks like. Okay? Round, in space, surrounded by a vacuum.
Well, why didn't you just say it like that in the first place? Because that actually made sense. You think that you get to choose what shape the Earth is. Or in your case, you get to choose what shape you believe the Earth is.
And there's an atmosphere. Okay? That doesn't have a container or anything like that. The atmosphere just magically is held in.
Well, it's not magic, it's physics. Does a swimming pool need a container? Well, I suppose it does actually, now I think about it, otherwise it would be a puddle. But what I actually meant is, does a swimming pool need a lid? And how is it that the deeper the water you're in, the more pressure you feel? Well, it's because of a pressure gradient, which is exactly the same thing that keeps the atmosphere, not flat, in place so we don't all get sucked off. And not in the good way either, I meant sucked off into space.
But they don't really get into that in school, do they? No, they don't. They don't really explain that to you clearly.
What, science? They didn't explain science to you in school. Well, that does explain a lot.
You see, if somebody came out and actually said to a kid, an infant, atmosphere is being held in with gravity. Okay. The kid would, with no container at all, holding in gas, and holding in everything.
So a flat earther's entire view of reality is built on the simple idea that the Earth can't possibly work the way scientists say it does. Their proof? The atmosphere doesn't have a container. And the key piece of evidence? What a baby would think.
I think the kid would probably second guess it. So they don't teach that. They just give you the ball, okay? They give you a little solar system. They give you
reality. Oh, boring.
a pen to sleep in when you're a child. A playpen. Yeah, that's right. A little crib, okay? Yeah, that's to keep the child protected so they don't roll off the bed or anything like that. But what did they do back in the 40s, 30s, the 20s, early 1900s? What did they do with the baby?
I don't know, put them on the mantelpiece or shove them in a drawer? I have no idea, I wasn't around then. And I feel at this point, Chris, I should ask you a question. What is your point? And are we in any danger of getting to it soon?
There was no earth or any ball that was given to those children back then. Okay, everything kind of changed, you know. Babies R Us came out, you know, all these stores specifically for babies, you know, that have the solar system, that have Earth in it, that have many other things that are pertaining to space. It really is amazing how much space you actually learn when you're a child and how little you learn when you're older.
Well, first of all, I'm impressed that you even know what learning is, but I can explain the other thing if you like. No? Okay, I will then. When you're a child, you go to this thing called a school, and they are jam-packed with other kids as well. And all of those little humans are there for exactly the same reason. To learn stuff. And then one day those little human beings become big humans, or adults as some of us like to call ourselves. Clearly not me. And sadly, when a lot of people reach adulthood, they suddenly think that they know everything and that they'll never need to learn anything again. And trust me when I tell you from experience that you're wrong. Every day's a school day, even when you're a grown-up. Going back to your original point, I'm not. Mainly because I've forgotten what it was, or is. Whatever, just keep watching.
Doesn't that amaze you? And that's it. That's all the choices you have.
Hang on a second, what's going on? Have I blacked out or something? I must have missed something. What choices, Chris? You haven't given us any options yet. Unless, of course, the choice you mean is whether or not you should learn. Well, I'm going to choose learn.
Okay, so for like 12 years, you're just bombarded with it. And, through high school, basically. And then they stop. You've been indoctrinated. You know that you live on a ball, right? You know you're in a solar system. You know there are other galaxies out there. You know that we live in a universe.
Yeah, and the reason we all know that is because we all went to school, paid attention, and came top of our class. Okay, went to school and paid attention. Fine, I went to school when my mother made me.
Now you can watch movies, you can have the conditioning work further, you can watch NASA, you can watch all these fake rockets go up and turn. They don't really quite let you see them turn because they blast them off above the clouds, but that's what they do. And they crash land somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean or wherever ocean they're by. That's where they crash land.
Chris, what's in your vape and where can we get some from? So NASA spends billions of dollars building a rocket, not to actually go to space, mind, but just to fly it a few miles up, make it turn slightly above the clouds, and then dump the whole thing into the Atlantic Ocean. Not just the ocean, but often right into the Bermuda Triangle, the world's most convenient, boat-eating, conspiracy-hiding garbage disposal. Well, why was garbage disposal so difficult to say? Think about that for a second. The greatest scientific achievement of the last 60 years? Bet you think it's the moon landing. No, don't be silly, it can't possibly be that. It's the unbelievable operational efficiency of repeatedly building multi-stage rockets just to throw them in the ocean. And all this is being done just to convince CC and a few people like him that gravity is an imaginary thing and that the world is round.
And, the Bermuda Triangle. Like, don't you love that? You know, they just invented this Bermuda Triangle out of nowhere and says that a few ships sank here and other things. No, that's where they crash land, the rockets, somewhere around there.
Wait, so they invented a globally famous, decades-long myth about the Bermuda Triangle just so they could have a convenient public spot to drop off huge recognizable pieces of expensive aluminium. Yes, Americans, it's pronounced aluminium. I guess they figured out that if a few tourists accidentally scuba dive onto a multi-ton rocket engine, they can just shrug it off as triangle magic. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, screams secret operation quite like repeatedly dumping identifiable smoking debris into one of the most heavily travelled and historically charted parts of the entire ocean.
And it's cordoned off, just like... That's right. Antarctica.
Well, we all know that's not true, don't we? I've got 3 letters for you, pal. TFE.
That's me on top of a sunken ship in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle trying to figure out why boats, planes, and ships are rumored to sink, crash, and disappear here.
It must have happened after 2023, which is when that video was uploaded to YouTube.
All the wars are going on, everybody's shooting each other, they're all fighting each other, they're all fighting over land, they're all fighting over guns, they're all fighting over religion. But there's one thing that nobody is fighting over, and that is Antarctica.
I mean, who'd want it? Talk about big nipple, small willy weather. It's bloody freezing down there, and there's naff all there. Well, there's some stuff there. I shouldn't have said that, because that's exactly what they would expect me to say.
That's right. Yes, many countries have signed a treaty. Every corporation signed a treaty. You may not go down there, investigate. You may not walk around there on your free will. You understand? I said that. Free will.
Free will. That's funny because TFE was paid for by will. People went down there, Chris. You're wrong again.
Okay? You cannot go down there with a plane of your own. You can't go down there with choppers or snowmobiles under free will. Okay?
Yeah, I agree. I think he just paid for the flights and accommodation.
No, you cannot go down there. Why? Why is that, you ask? To save the penguins. To save the bears. That's right.
Ha! I thought you said there was nothing there. Oh no, that was me who said that. See, I was wrong. There is stuff there. Bears and penguins.
You know, when you bring up flat Earth to people and they start telling you about, you know, planets and all this stuff that they manage to see these things in the telescope. And that's great. That's wonderful, okay? But the problem is you don't know what a planet looks like. I don't know what a planet looks like because I've never seen one.
You live on a planet, you muppet.
I've seen something through a telescope that resembles partially what a planet should look like, but that's a light in the sky.
And I suppose you could call them lights in the sky because it is light that you see when you look through your telescope, but that light probably left its source billions of years ago, Chris.
That's all that is. And that's the same for you. You've never seen a star.
Then what's that bright thing that lights up the day every day?
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Our own sun is a star.
All you see is this circular, yellow thing in the sky that you call a star, that you call something that's 93 million miles away, okay? That you think it's in space because you've been told that. All right, you have been told that. So nobody knows what anything should look like.
And yet somehow flat earthers always seem to think they know what it shouldn't look like.
The only thing we know, and many other things, okay, is that we live on a flat land, we're covered with something, something's containing our gases, a dome of some sort, if you wish to call that, a stadium perhaps. Who knows how big this thing is? Who knows how tall it is?
Oh, excuse me?
Man, you gotta warn somebody before you just crack one off. My mouth was open and everything.
Come on, I'm 53 in a couple of weeks. Old man farts are allowed. I don't care what anyone says. It was an accident. That's a very good question, Chris. Who does know? I think I've got the answer though. Nobody, because none of what you've just said is real.
So you believe in complete nonsense of something that can't possibly exist, of things that you know. Just a mere fact that there's a vacuum of space out there holding in nothing with a container is a flag for you to say, wait a minute, maybe I should further investigate this.
Well, I mean, I would, but I've got to do the dishes and mow the lawn and feed the dog and probably change my underpants because I'm sure there's not meant to be lumps in farts.
You f***ing prats.
Don't forget, if you're a Patreon or a channel member, I'll be going live tomorrow and Friday. I would have said today as well, but it's too late now because I've already stopped being live today. But I am now going live all day Wednesday, Thursday and Friday to share my video creation process and give you a little peek behind the curtain, so to speak. So if that's something you think you might enjoy, I know I would massively appreciate the support. But if it's not for you, that's fine. Just keep whacking the bejesus out of my like button and watching the videos till the end. I tell stupid jokes after the end screen. See, I bet you didn't even know, did you? Quitter. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you again on Friday, 7:30 p.m. UK time, 2:30 Eastern. Love you. Bye.
Out of everything that's on the internet, this is the best thing.
Now, when I got in the studio this morning, my PC was absolutely freezing. I'd only left my bloody windows open all night, didn't I?
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never